management, or advertisers of the network. The show is found under LJA Broadcasting Network. UFO Talk Radio can, but does not necessarily promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and they are not intended to treat or diagnose and/or claim to cure any disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. All music is purchased and owned by LJA Broadcasting.
I got the windows rolled down, got the radio up, and I'm heading out of Vegas tonight. And it's a 1:30 on a 4-day run, and the desert is a welcome sight. I can see you there in that dress you wear, and it's keeping my foot on the gas. I drink a gallon of Joe just to make it back home and hold you in my arms at last.
From the high desert in Great America's Southwest, broadcasting live deep in the desert of Nevada, The Glenn Leary Show.
He is back. Now, on UFO Talk Radio, Glenn Leary.
Yes, and I am back, to tell you the truth. Yes, another Tuesday night with you. May I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be from, a time zone you are in. I do thank you for listening. We have a great show for you tonight. Oh, yes. This guy's incredible. You're going to hear some things you've never heard before. His name is Sean Christopher, and he has a lot to say, I'll tell you for sure. To all the micro broadcasters out there, and to all the fire and all the folks out there, police and first responders, we bid you hello and welcome to the show. KPFF, Rump, Nevada. Welcome you guys to your great channel. KBHR, 57 AM, Siska, Alaska. We love you. Thank you for listening, everybody from all over the world. I am Glenn Leary. Now that we got that over with, oh, how much fun. Boy, I'll tell you, our calendar is really picking up now, and that's a good thing. And I'm trying to get some interesting people on that you, well, would enjoy listening to. I mean, it captures you. And it's this type of show we have is a bit different than the others. I'll guarantee you for that. Yes. On the line, I have on the line here in the studio, kind of an interesting guy. He's kind of a genius too, I think. And I looked at his websites and saw a bunch of stuff. And I said, I've got to get him on the show. And so I called him up and he agreed. And it's Sean Christopher. And sir, are you with me?
I am, Larry.
Good. Fantastic. Glad to have you on. And as I put up on my website, which will appear on all the different sites, you're captain of the Galactic Federation. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Galactic Federation of Light.
And let me ask you something. Now, I've had other people on that talk about the Galactic, this or that. And it's going to be quite interesting what you have to say tonight, to tell you the truth. What is that all about?
Well, we are beings that we protect all humanity. We protect all sentient life throughout the universe. And we come to other star systems and other planets to learn and to watch over and to integrate with the different species. And we help them along their evolution into a galactic society and to help them always progress, give them technology, give them wisdom, give them knowledge, to help their species and their consciousness always evolve.
I see. And so how do you get here and there? I mean, are you guys a group? Are you folks? Are you people?
Yeah, we are a group, yes. We're a collective group and have our starships we've been here like we've always been on Earth. We've always been here watching over, assisting, and as I kind of say, like we play this cosmic elevator. It's like we're up in the ships and we're observing everything going on. We're observing all the humans, and we also incarnate as human beings. And and some of us just know a little more than others, and it's nothing to brag about or boast. It's just something that we come here to share that type of energy and that frequency, so we can assist humanity in becoming better and to showing them how we live.
Interesting. You live among us now, right? I mean,
yes. Oh, yes. We've always been here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Would I know you from anybody else? Is there something special about you? If I look at you, or could I tell, or that you might be something? We don't want to say alien, but how would you say that, Captain?
So that's the fun part, is that we look just like everyone else here. The only thing, like we have, our DNA is a little different in some of us, and we also have implants. Like every human being that comes and chooses to be on this earth has an implant, like a little crystal implant. And it's basically to tag everybody who's on the playing field, so we can see what's going on, and we can basically like read their Akashic records. And for some of us who are these beings, these Galactic Federation beings, or I call it the Galactics, we can also be downloaded with massive amounts, terabytes of information, through this tachyon energy and the tachyon, this tachyon energy, and we can be downloaded with massive amounts of knowledge and how to build things like net beds, or just the type of knowledge that we need to help to progress our own lives. And also it keeps us in connection with the ships in our star family, so we can travel interdimensionally and beyond the ships at nighttime. And you go up there and you have meetings, and you kind of get debriefed on certain things about your life, or what you've experienced in the last few months, and then you come back down in here, and you play the role again.
It's kind of a rotation type of thing through life, is it?
Yeah, exactly. It's like we have a certain amount of beings that can be here, and then when a certain amount leaves, they go back and they wake up on the ship, and they're like, "Hey, how was it playing Steve? Did you have a good experience?" And then we send down other beings on the planet.
Interesting. Now, about this crystal that we seem to all have, is it that are you born with that, or it comes later? Are you taken and it's implanted in you, or what? I've heard of these crystals, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, I had one of my implants came out 3 years ago, and it's a little bit. It's like half the size of a grain of rice. Very small, very hard, and me and our friends at the time, we put it under a dark field microscope, and we were looking at it and put it on a huge TV, and under the microscope, it actually looks metallic, but it has all these etchings and these hieroglyphs. So it's basically like, this is very advanced technology, and say like it could be like your whole human life on that little chip right there. So it also helps you to like raise your vibration. And like when I was a baby, I was taken out of the ward, and a hybrid nurse came into the hospital dressed as a nurse, and I was taken, and they replaced me with like a little flash clone baby. And when she got into the elevator, it basically kind of like beamed her up onto the ship. And I remember I seen it as a third person, like my little body was on this table, and there was these Pleiadians. They were like looking over my body, inspecting me. And they put this chip in there, a chip inside me. They also gave me like this serum. So it would basically like protect my body from any of the inoculations that were given to me at the time, and would help me progress throughout my life, so I wouldn't get sick, or I would have a higher tolerance of things, and it wouldn't affect my body like it would normal human beings.
How old are you?
I've been here for 42 years.
Okay. And this body
Years.
that you have. But you're much older than that, apparently.
Yeah, I've seen where I've been here for 75,000 years on this planet.
Wow.
I've been, I've lived here a very long time, and through the progression of your evolution and as you reincarnate, you gain more wisdom, gain more knowledge, and eventually you become this being at this stage of life, and start to remember all of your lifetimes. And you really step into your true full potential of who you are. And you become this Christed being with this Christ consciousness, and you just live that life. You find the others,
mm-hmm.
and you share your life to the world. And we uplift the world through the word, through how we live.
Right. Interesting. So here you are now. Do you leave anytime you want to go to the ship, or do you have they summons you, or how's that work?
It's usually, at nighttime when you fall asleep.
Yeah.
When your body goes to sleep, and it happens throughout your whole life. But as you come back, though, like your memory is blanked out, so it doesn't cause a distortion. There have been a few times, let's say, 3-4 years ago, I had an experience where I fell asleep, and as soon as I fell asleep, I was consciously awake on one of my ships, and I had on my attire, kind of like a Star Trek. I had like this black tight-fitting uniform on. I was inside this craft with my crew. There was a guy to my right and two guys to my left, and there was a woman up on the higher deck. And my crew was talking to me. It was a very high vibration. It was almost hard to keep that vibration, because it was like, wow, it was so intense. And we took off from Earth within like a second, and we were about 100,000 feet off the ground. And you could see Earth. It was very, very small, very, very small. We were so far up, and you could see all the other planetary systems beyond the ice wall. And I saw about 40 to 50 other planets.
Wow.
And now, planets aren't like these spheres
they
show you in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
We live on this flat, infinite plane, and there's bodies of water, and then there are these huge continents that are sometimes 2 or 3 times the size of Earth. And it's one infinite plane. It was the most magnificent thing I had seen at the time. I remember I was looking out the window of the craft, and I started to tear up. My crew was like, "Why are you crying?" And I was like, "I've always wanted to see this."
Wow.
And they're like, "But you see this every day." And I kind of like snapped out of being Sean, and I went back into the captain mode. And I was conscious for about 20 minutes. I was talking to my crew, and the girl that was on the upper deck, she had her consciousness actually connected to the ship. And that's how we, in time travel, is we hook up, or like we synchronize our consciousness with the ship, and we become one with the ship. And through our memories, we can go into different time-space continuums.
The UFOs that we're seeing today, is that you guys or somebody else? I
What's
mean,
that?
is that you guys that we're seeing these UFOs, or do you think it's
Yeah.
other ships too?
Yeah, well, there's a mixture of the secret space program ships, a lot of the triangle ships that you see. That's military. That's the U.S. military. They've had, in service for the last 30, 40, 50 years. And most of the ships that we see, that's us. There's millions of ships that are stationed across the planet above, certain locations in certain cities. And we help to anchor this type of frequency as well. So like we're all connected to the ships, and people are starting to see, these phenomenons across the world. Like the biggest thing that I think I've helped to show people is how these cloud structures are not actually clouds, they're actually ships. They're actually like a cloaking system, and coming through this dimension, it's basically like you're seeing the ship. And of course, people are like, well, but planes fly through it. But we're at a higher frequency. So yes, there's ships everywhere at all times.
Right. I've seen some of those clouds, and I've seen them on your site. But I mean, they're oval. They look just like a UFO.
And
Some
they are.
a little different. Sean, we're going to go to a commercial real fast, and we'll be back. Okay? So
Great.
stay with me, buddy.
Every day, people are afraid to report violent crimes. In times like these, choosing to report a crime or helping the police can be a difficult decision. A no-snitching culture has sprung up in our communities, making it unpopular and sometimes even dangerous to report a crime. Do the right thing by calling 911 or your local crime tip line. If you're the victim of a crime, report it. If you know about a crime, report it. To learn more about how to do the right thing, visit ncpc.org or contact your local law enforcement agency.
A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
You ignore the signs, so you enable.
You don't want to sound like a hypocrite, so you enable.
You don't want to alienate your child, so you enable.
But if you think they're trying drugs, you shouldn't be afraid.
You are the parent.
So you are able.
You are strong.
So you are able.
There are others just like you.
So you are able.
And we can help, so you are able.
Get help at drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
Now, back with Glenn Larry on UFO Talk Radio, deep in the desert of Nevada.
And I am back. Thank you for that, Ron. Appreciate that. And we were talking about ships. I'm with Sean, and he is captain of the Galactic Federation. And we're talking about ships up in space that you see in the cloud formation. And I've seen them before. And I go, wow, how can a cloud do that? I mean, seriously, one looked like a Galactic ship from Star Wars, and the other one looked like several saucers.
Oh, yeah.
And
some of these ships are 15, 20, 30 miles long. These are, like, we live in these ships indefinitely. Like, these can sustain, some of these ships can hold over 2 million personnel.
Wow.
They have living conditions, and they have, like, even like small, like, forest and where you can, it's like being on like an earth plane. So you can, be living on these ships, and it's the most amazing, incredible thing. And the fun thing too is, when you start to reach this level and this frequency level, you can start to be on the ships as well and have these experiences. And you really start to remember who you are. And I've helped thousands of people across the planet to help them to remember who they are, but also to teach them about their bodies, teach them about how their vessels truly work, and really teach immortality to everyone, raise their conscious level, and to take care and to respect their bodies, and to share this sacred ancient wisdom, and to instill that into as many souls that are seeking that type of enlightenment.
So when we pass away or we leave this earth, our body would die. What is you guys' belief? Do you go to a different frequency, or how's that work?
Well, the program of dying has been so instilled into human consciousness. We're not supposed to age. We're not supposed to die.
What
that's a lesson. We've been taught that for thousands of years, and I think that's one of the major things that people they feel that they never have enough time. But yes, when the body shuts off, like you wake up back up on the ship. Your soul just you just wake up and you're like, oh wow, if you have fun playing Susie, yeah, wow. Well, it's time to go back. Time to go back and relearn, and then you get recycled and you reincarnate until a lifetime that you figure out that you can live forever.
Huh.
Interesting.
It is.
Now, there was a timeline where back in 2020 where I saw the timeline where I had this portal open next to my bed, and they pulled my body through this portal, and they had a body on the ship that looked just like mine, and they had upgraded it. They had upgraded the DNA. They had made the body stronger internally. They had made the vibration of the body a lot different than it was at the time. And I jumped timelines because my higher self, my soul, was ready to advance into this higher dimensional conscious frequency that we're at now. And about a week later after this happened, I saw all this. And it was like, yeah, you were ready to leave that timeline, but they said, but did you die? No, you didn't die. You just keep going. So no one actually dies. They just go into a different reality,
right,
of where they need to be, so
because it's a vibration, right?
Vibration, that's correct.
Yeah. Now, how would I know where I'm at on my vibration? How am I saying this right?
How would you know?
Yeah.
Well, I always check in with myself a few times a day of how I'm feeling. Am I feeling in alignment? Am I feeling creative? Am I feeling inspired? Or am I tired? Or, I kind of gauge my vibration. Because when I'm at a high vibration, I'm always in that flux of creation. I'm almost like my body is buzzing, and I'm just attracting so many amazing experiences, amazing people coming into my life, attracting abundance. And that's how you can kind of gauge where your vibration is. I'm actually coming up with a device here in the very near future. Instead of people wearing watches, we're going to have these vibration devices on our hands, and it will tell you your vibration at all times and what you need to do to, if your vibration is in a lower frequency, it'll actually tell you what you need to do to up your vibration.
I check my blood all the time and my blood pressure. So that will do it all, huh?
Yo.
That's
absolutely
great. That's incredible.
Everything is about your blood. Your blood cells are actually little batteries, and they hold a charge of 1.7 millivolts. So like we are these electric beams, which they never taught in school. Of course, they don't tell you these things. And like the soul resides in the blood.
Right.
And there's always like a little corona charge, like a little halo around our batteries. And then as your body starts to, I guess, discharge energy by the things that we eat or just going through our day, then the little halo starts to get weaker and weaker, and the cells clump together and coagulate. And that's the start of low energy, high blood pressure, disease, cancer. All these things are due to stagnation and low electricity in the blood.
Right.
And that's why I created my company called Galactic, and I have some videos that shows we do a live blood sample of my blood before I take my drops, You can see it's all coagulated and it's not moving. And then we take my drops and I drink the water. About 90 seconds later, we take another blood sample. We put it under the microscope, and it's like a river is flowing. All the blood is bright and it's glowing. It's very amazing. I've helped thousands of people with this across the world.
And
50, over 50 countries and 6 continents later, the last 2.5 years, it's been amazing.
Are these like oxygen drops, or I mean?
Yeah, they're called liquid oxygen. That's right.
Okay, I've heard of this.
Liquid oxygen.
And do you have to? How many times a day do you have to take those?
I take them between 3 to 4 times a day.
Yeah.
It's just like plugging in your phone. Sometimes you need to plug in your phone.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You have to recharge your phone.
Mm-hmm. Many times I've gone through phone batteries like crazy. That's amazing.
Right. Yeah. Like this is just a battery, and we have to recharge the battery and keep it at a higher voltage. And when you keep your vibration and your electricity at a high voltage,
right,
that will allow you to have these higher dimensional experiences where you can, start to have experiences with other beings, be more abundant, and actually have a conscious experience on the ship.
Wow. Boy, would I love that. I'll tell you for sure. Why don't you give out your web address and about your drops? I'll send the videos. Go ahead.
The website is galactivision.com. GALACTIVISION. Galactivision.
And they can order that stuff from you. And do you have a blog also?
I just have my Facebook right now, but
okay.
I'm expanding my platforms.
Good. This
type of knowledge and information is something that, part of my mission is to show people, how we can live longer. Because you can live longer, and when you can live longer, then you can have longer life experience. You can gain more wisdom and more knowledge instead of having to come back every or have a life of 60 or 80 years and then come back and do it again and forget. Or if you can live for 200, 300, 400, 1,000 years, like it's spoken about in the Bible, some of these beings were 800, 900, almost 1,000 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we should be able to live. And it's through the poisoning and through the programming that has lowered people's lifespans.
Wow, incredible. Now, have you met? Well, you probably have. I need to hear it myself, my audience too. Have you met other folks like yourself? I mean, do you guys meet? You go to meetings on the ship and stuff, but do you know each other on Earth? Who you are?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Sure do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now
I see people that are here on Earth, and we look very similar as we do on the ship. Because on the ships, there's a lot of, just like in Star Trek. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much like that. That's a pretty good representation. There are other beings that don't look human, but they're humanoid. They're upright, bipedal. But a lot of us up there, we're these beings called Pleiadians, and we look just like we do down here.
Right. The blonde, blue-eyed type of thing too, or.
Mm-hmm. All of us are blonde, and there's brown hair, there's black skin, there's different color skin, different color hair, but we're all humanoid. And we look slightly different up there, but pretty much, I've had a couple hundred souls across the planet reach out to me personally and share their stories that they've had experiences with me on the ship, being the captain, being in classrooms, being in council meetings with other beings. I've even had some experiences with Donald Trump and military forces at this round table meeting with some humans, military personnel, and other beings at this council meeting. And I was sat down and given this huge file of papers and a glass little, like a crystal tablet, and they were showing me. They were saying, here is what you are responsible for, taking down some of these elites. And they said, you are, or like you have been responsible for the capture and arrest and detainment and execution of Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and the Pope and all of his constituents. And they said, take all the time you need. I was shown all these papers and photographs of everything they've ever done. Everything.
Okay. So you're going to take their vibrations, or how's that going to work? How's that? Do you talk to these people, or help them along their way? How's that work?
Yeah, I mean, vibration is everything.
Yeah.
Like we live in this vibrational world, and as we start to come into this age of enlightenment, teach people how to eat better, how to use their time more wisely, how to create and manifest their lives. It's all due through vibration, taking care of the body, going within, and self-care and self-love, and self-expression, being creative. All these different aspects play a huge part of us raising our vibration to becoming these master creators. And that's why we all came here, is to create together.
Right.
To co-create a new reality, a new earth for everyone to live in.
I keep hearing doomsday. I keep hearing from folks that, hey, this is almost over with. I mean, the earth and everything else. Is there much truth to that?
Well, it can be, it's like a metaphorical thing. Like things are coming to an end, but not as the way that it's portrayed in the media. There's not going to be doom and gloom. See, now that's a reality, yes. So they would like people, it makes people to go into that timeline, sure. That's how they harvest energy, is through this loose program where they pull you into this fear mode and doom and gloom and shortage and all these different programs that are projected in our outside visual reality. And when you rise above that and know that's not what's really going on, and you can choose another timeline.
Now you do travel in time. Do you go forward in time or backwards in time?
It's not really forward or backwards. It's parallel universes, parallel realities, parallel dimensions. And
I mean, for instance,
he came back. I would say, like in our past, to create a whole new timeline for humanity and for ourselves.
Okay.
And I've been like when I was put into the secret space program as a child.
I want to hear about that.
I was put into the program, and for time travel purposes, time dilation, and I remember being on missions, like in New York. I remember I was there with some mothers, and we were seeing like the Empire State Building. I remember seeing the Empire State Building being built. And we would go into these different timelines and different time eras to fix things, or to make sure someone didn't talk to somebody, or make sure someone took a left turn and not a right turn. Or we would always kind of create these, I guess, like time corrections.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a picture of me, Larry, in a museum in Braylorn, British Columbia. And there's a picture of me. It's called The Time Traveler. I'm sitting there in this with my like a t-shirt on, and I have these glasses on, and then this crowd on the bridge, and it's in this gold mining town, and me and some other time travelers are there with me, who I know here now.
I've seen
that.
I have seen that picture.
Yep,
you're wearing. Are you wearing sunglasses?
Yep, that's me.
That's you. Oh my God.
That's me.
Well, yeah, that's quite an interesting photograph. And there's a couple other ones too. Wow. Yeah. I've seen that picture. Gosh. I want to hold it right there.
We go back in time, and we correct these timelines, and some timelines we're there to do important things, or just to talk to a few people, and to to get everyone on this sacred timeline. And that's how we kind of know everything as well. We always kind of play God. We can see different timelines to see what's going on and what needs to be corrected.
My gosh, that's amazing. I'm going to go to commercial real fast. We'll be back with Sean, Captain Sean. I'll tell you, it's...
The rump lines are open at 775-990-8275. That's 775-990-8275. To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. The rump lines are open now. Here again, Glenn Larry. Now, back with Glenn Larry on UFO Talk Radio, deep in the desert of Nevada.
And I'm talking with Sean, Captain Sean. Oh, I hope that's okay to say that. And my gosh, time travel. And, I love that. That's one of my favorite things to bring up, of course. And unbelievable. Yeah, good stuff. So on your time travel, that time on that bridge, what was that like? I mean, did other people, they see you disappear, or did you walk away and disappear? How does that work?
Well, I mean, like we actually go there and, like we have clothes on, some kind of a time error. And of course, I'm a little not dressed for the times, and that was something that people have pointed out. I could totally see that being me. I'm always kind of, I do what I want and kind of stand out a little bit. So these are things like we were there, like looking at these gold mines and helping ourselves for the future.
Right.
We were there buying some gold, and investing in these gold mines. And because we knew at one point there was going to be a huge influx, like a reset, and there's going to have to be some kind of a gold backing for the currency.
So we're going to go back to gold and silver?
I see something like that. Yeah, there's has to be some kind of physical backing.
Mm-hmm.
Not only are we going to have like a digital currency, but there's going to have to be something where people can have something to barter and have something physical, not just a promise, not just an idea anymore. It's going to have, something will have to back that, make it more real. Mm-hmm.
Amazing. I know people want to barter for gasoline right now. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
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 And do you see a food shortage at all? I mean, seriously.
I don't.
You do not?
No, I don't see that. Now, and everything is up to the observer and where they're at with their consciousness. If you believe that, because the universe is always a state of abundance. It's always there to give everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only man that puts out these ideas of shortages to create fear, to create panic, to create people to spend or to hold on to their money or, to kind of get them to not be able to move. Oh, gas is $4. God, what am I going to do? It's teaching you that. It's teaching people that, well, as the times evolve and this new quantum era is coming into fruition, it's going to show people to be more creative, maybe step out of having a job and get uncomfortable, and start to learn how to harness and cultivate their own natural abilities to create and to be able to offer what they create to the world.
So the creation, they can use that to barter with or what have you, even those that want to have gardens and have food for their neighbors. And
that's right.
They do it that way. Yes, I like that attitude. Oh, wow.
And through creation, you're never thinking about lack, because you know that you'll always be provided for. Everything just kind of happens in mysterious ways sometimes. Checks show up in the mail, or you get donations, or just things just start to fall in your lap when you're at that frequency. Like I hear people talking about, I'm sure you've heard about it, like the quantum financial system.
Mm-hmm.
all tapped into. That's the quantum field. When you reach that level and that frequency, then now you're tapped into the quantum financial system because it's an ever-present, ever-flowing stream of abundance and wealth. Because now you tap into that frequency and you're creating. Maybe people are being speakers, or they're sharing what they create, their gifts. I have my Galactic Vision elixirs, along with ozone machines and water machines. And
right.
All I do is I'm just being me, Larry, and I'm just speaking and talking about things that can better people's lives. They can enrich people's lives intrinsically, like internally, and also extrinsically, externally, like the elixirs. And my talks help people intrinsically.
Wow.
So all that love that I share to the world, I get back in return.
Gotcha. I'm very interested in going to the ship. That's one of my things. I really want to. Let me give this number out of Cup Guns. Be right back.
To call UFO Talk Radio, the Glenn Larry Show, deep in the dark desert of Nevada, call 702-874-1114. North of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. West of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. And south of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. And east of the Rockies, call 702-874-1114. First-time callers, call 702-874-1114. And if you just want to talk to the Glenn Larry Show, call 702-874-1114.
To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada. Lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Larry.
Oh, it's fantastic. Got to get that number out, If they got to hear it 5-10 times, they got to get that number. Tell you for sure.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, too. What the heck? I want to say a shout out to some of my friends over there in Pennsylvania, and especially a little place called the Creekside Diner. I eat there when I come out there, and she does a great job. Karen does, and she's over there on Kennett Square. I'm sorry. And but great people. Get a chance, stop over. A lot of the EMTs go there. A lot of fire guys, and yeah, they listen to the show. And a shout goes out to Station 23, Avondale, Chief Hall and his group. They're good people. They treated me like gold when I was out there, and that's kind of my favorite place to go. You ever been out there?
I haven't yet. No.
Yeah, nice and green, kind of a cool little town, all through there.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, when I get to the ship, and I'm 65 years old, and I hope to leave my bed and go to the ship, but I would like to also be back on Earth. Now, what could that happen?
Absolutely.
It's like an astral projection type of thing.
It's I always tell people to set your intentions.
Yeah.
Set your intentions of what you want to experience, and what we always let everyone know is, is to raise your vibration so we can at least meet you halfway.
Right.
And we want you to strive to become better so we can show you what's possible. That's gonna, that's showing or that's making people make the adjustments in their life.
Right.
And all the tools are here. All the masters are here, and we're here saying, hey, we have the tools, and we're here to assist, but they have to make that decision themselves. We don't go looking for people. They just get brought into our field.
Right.
Yes, absolutely, you can. It's all about your intentions, Larry. And with almost about 99% of everyone who comes into my field, and we have discussions about these type of things, about being on the ship, within that week, they start to have experiences on the ship. Because now they're tapped into my frequency.
Right.
See? And I've had experiences where I've picked up some of my buddies here on Earth. I'll never forget. And I picked up these three guys, and we took them on the ship, and we were probably, I don't know, a few thousand miles above Earth, and we walked out on the platform, and I was showing them Earth. I mean, beyond.
Wow.
They were just in awe.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you guys asked me to show you this, and I'm fulfilling one of your dreams. Here you go, because this is how much I love you. This is what you have to look forward to.
Your intentions. I had Stephen Gibbs on. I don't know if you're familiar with that name, but he was a time traveler, and he sold time machines. And he said it's your intent. You can't use it to get the lottery numbers or whatever. No, it's for just traveling, and you go mentally. Or some have gone physically. I don't know what happened to them, but I mean, here we are, so it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, using your intentions and being able to have the gift of sight, and not through your eyes, but through your third eye. When that becomes activated, then you start to have the gift to remote view, and you can access the future. Basically, see into yourself in different time eras in your future, and other future timelines, where actually you're looking through your own eyes.
That is quite your third eye, more or less. Yeah. And a sensitive psychic person would be able to do this, I would presume. And this remote viewing, that's been taught by many, many people. Have you gone through those teachings yourself?
Yes, I have. Like when we go to the ship, and like for a lot of us, we were put into these programs by the militaries and the government, the MK Ultra programs, secret space program. There's a lot of people that are coming out, saying, "Hey, I was abducted and put in the secret space program," and we go up here to learn and access these abilities. Sometimes we actually go on the ship because they alter and they tinker with our DNA that helps to activate parts of these abilities for us to access.
Right.
At later times, or maybe at that time right there, and we're taught these and how to basically like use these spiritual muscles, so we will know how to use them for the greater good later on in our lifetime.
We have a caller. Will you take a call, sir?
Absolutely.
You're live on the air. This is Glenn Larry, and we have Sean on the other line. And who am I speaking to, and where are you from?
I'm Philip Adler. I'm a follower of the captain on Facebook. I saw that he posted, and I had a question for him.
All right. Go ahead.
My main question is, how did he develop these elixirs? How did they come about? Was he guided, or was it a trial and error? And what exactly does it do to the body's chemistry?
Great question, Phil. Yeah, these were something that was basically like I was instructed and to provide these type of this technology of planet to help people, to assist them in their life, so we can live these long lifespans, to have the gift of immortality if people so choose. And it alters, yes, great question as well. It alters your chemistry. We're all going through a chemical ascension as your body body changes its alkalinity, and it becomes going from acidic base to an alkaline base. Then you start to have happier experiences. You start to become more magnetic. You can attract abundance in your life. And yes, I always use these elixirs and do lots of trials on myself, about 6 months or more before I release them for everyone else. And they're all 100% safe for all ages, pets, and it's really become worldwide phenomenon. Very, very excited and pleased we're taking Galactic vision.
Does that answer your call?
And how long does it take before you start to feel the effects? Would it be noticeable?
Oh, immediately. Yeah, within that day, I have everyone who starts taking the liquid oxygen or starts taking the monatomic gold or the potassium. They call me within the hour, like, holy cow, what's in this? I just spoken to a woman today who started on her products last night, and she was like, I had the most amazing lucid dreams. I was on a ship, and I'm just still like, I'm floating today. I'm like, yeah, that's the power, because you're tapped in to that frequency. You're tapped in with the captain. Everything that I get to experience, and I get to share those experiences with others.
Wow. Did that help you out there, sir?
Yes, okay. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for your call. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.
That's great. There's a question. I'm going to give the number out again.
To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Larry. Forum lines are open at 775-990-8275. That's 775-990-8275.
Those numbers are out for you. Feel free to call, ask the captain any questions you may want to ask him. I mean, there's a lot of questions we could ask him right now. We have enough time, but yeah, it's amazing. You walk among us. You guys are older than, well, I'm almost dirt, I guess. You've been here since the beginning of time.
Yes.
And you've seen us move on. You've seen many wars. You've seen many mistakes. What have you seen good about human beings?
For their will to always come together in difficult times. We don't give up. I love humanity. I've always said since I was a child, I'll never give up on humanity. How, this is a school to learn. This is a school to evolve. And this is not supposed to be easy. This is a very difficult place to learn. And souls come here to evolve and learn about themselves, learn how to create, learn how to love, learn how to become leaders, learn how to step into their full potential. And I commend us for choosing. You see, here we have the free will choice to be able to choose every part of our life. We have the ability to choose if we want to experience a miserable life, or we choose to have cancer, or we choose to be sick, or we can choose to be healthy. Mm-hmm. We can choose to love. Mm-hmm. We can choose to grow and create and inspire all those souls that want to move forward in life.
We do have another caller. Caller, go ahead. You're live on the line.
Hello, Glenn.
Oh, this must be Barbara. Hi, Barbara. How are you?
Barbara.
How do you like this show, Barbara, so far?
So far, it's very interesting that you have. I'd be honest, I caught the tail end of it. Because we had, me and Steve, we had to go get some dinner. We went and picked up some Chinese food.
Oh, okay. That's great. Do you want to ask him any questions about?
I do. I don't know if you brought it up, but did you bring up the JFK? Did he go back in time to see this?
Well, ask him. Go ahead, sir, Captain.
What's your name, sir? I'm sorry.
Hi, Barbara. I'm Sean. You call me the Captain. How are you?
Call you what?
The Captain. You call me Sean, or you call me the Captain. Either one.
Oh, isn't that nice, Captain? Have you been back to Dallas and seen this terrible? I told Glenn that we visited Dallas and we went to the JFK area there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have not. I don't have any recalls of being there at that time. That was just something that that was a really big show for the world to I guess have a really traumatic experience. And what I've been shown is that the person playing JFK wasn't actually a real person. It was like almost like a clone.
Well, he was very handsome.
What's that?
He was very handsome. John F. Kennedy was very handsome. You know, he had a lot of women. Yes, he did. Steve is with me. We're in the car. I'm sorry. We're driving back from Chinese food. Steve says that that JFK was with Marilyn Monroe.
Well, I don't think at that time when he was shot, no, but they knew each other.
Yes, they were screwing around, evidently.
All right. Yeah, well.
Here, this is what Steve said. I don't know if it's true. This is what Steve said. Yeah, he was a player. He liked to screw around on his wife. Steve, be quiet.
All right. Yeah. All right.
Steve says he screwed around. Anyway, this is a fascinating show, Glenn.
Well, thank you, Barbara.
I did I did injure my hand.
Okay, I'm sorry that you injured your hand. What happened to your hand?
Well, I fell down, and it's a sprain on my wrist, and I have this wrap around it.
Okay.
And I can't lift it. So we have a domestic, a home domestic, and
well, we'll lots of good energy,
most
Barbara,
of the work for us.
All right. Well, do you got a question, Glenn?
I do. Hey, we got to cut it short here, Barbara. Run out of time, but God, take care. And
Barbara.
It's good to hear from you, Glenn, and Captain John. What is his name?
Sean.
Captain Sean. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Wow, that is.
Thanks for calling in.
This time travel business is very interesting. Or this dimensional travel.
Yeah.
Yes. Amazing stuff.
You know, we have the UFO group, Glenn. You know, the girls.
Yes, we do. Yeah, go ahead.
And there's a theory that Janice thinks that these UFOs are not from another planet. She says they're from other dimensions.
Oh, that's what he was just saying. The captain was talking all about that tonight.
Oh, maybe I missed that part.
Yeah.
Chinese food. Yes, Steve.
God.
All right.
Okay, thank you again, Barbara. Thank you.
Have a good night, Glenn.
All right.
God bless you. God bless.
Bye.
And Captain, God bless you too, Captain.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
There you go. Yeah. That's Barbara. She's one of our frequent callers.
Awesome.
They have a group. They get together, the UFOs and a bunch of the gals, and they have a little wine, and they do whatever. But they're interesting calls I get all the time, so it's fun.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh. But yeah, again, Sean.
I'll tell you a really good story real quick. If you
Go
have
ahead.
A few more minutes.
I do.
Yeah. So Roswell. We all know what Roswell is, right?
Oh, yes.
The crash. And okay. Well, I was given this information a year or so ago, and what was going on with the planet is that the cabal and all the people that had deemed themselves in charge of the world, they were growing people and underground. And like I said earlier in the show, everyone has to have a chip. Okay, if you're going to be on the playing field, well, we have to know where everyone's at all times. So they started to grow people underground, using slavery, sacrifices, going to all that. So we were kind of in the dark of what was going on. And so we needed a plan to devise to figure out how we could create something where we could find out what was going on on a worldwide scale. We devised this plan to have a ship with some of our little clones or little grays, okay? And so we crashed the ship, and by doing so, we gave them, the humans, technology. fiber optic systems in the ship. There was like little microchips at the processor, and there was, I think, there's night vision. There was other things to help them advance about 100 or 150 years.
Right.
And so we gave them this. This is all on purpose, so we needed to have a communication system. And by them, figuring out what fiber optics were, they created the internet about 8 years later. They call it a facsimile machine. Then they started talking. Now all the military bases were talking with each other. And all their underground locations, they were talking with each other. And we just had to let time go on and let them build out their whole network system, so we could figure out who was talking with who was doing what, who's on what side, how many humans are getting shipped off the planet, how many are going where. And so we let them just basically kind of tell on themselves. And there was a U.S. Navy program called Operation Looking Glass.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And not the time travel one everyone thinks. That's just like a cover story. So there was Operation Looking Glass, and they had a C-130. I think it started flying in 1963, I believe. But it's still in operation today, and they flew 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they recorded all calls on the planet. They flew all around the world, tapping into phone calls, tapping into everything, writing everything down. And they've been doing that ever since. And we basically built up a whole database of who was doing what. It don't matter if it was the United States, we would write down what the president was doing. And these were given to high-ranking officials that were on our side, that were galactic, and these were put into safekeepings and made copies of. And now you're seeing all the evidence of that. We have all this recorded information for the last 50 years of what they've been doing. And that's how we have, as I say, like we recode the entire planet. Because we knew, we've known everything they've done.
Right.
We know where all their bases were. We knew about all their off-world plans, all the humans they shipped off-world, everything.
Wow.
So, yeah, pretty amazing.
Very
It's
amazing.
all by design.
Yeah, my goodness. And it's still going.
Still going.
Sean, again, thank you so much. And give out your website again.
Yes, it's www.galactivision.com. GALACTIVISION.
All right, great. Again, thank you so much. And we'll talk again and have you on again. It's a cool show, I'll tell you for sure. And we learned quite a bit here. All right, folks, thanks again. This is Glenn Larry, and we do thank you for listening. The Glenn Larry Show. And we'll see you next Tuesday night at 7.
I got it.